It's time for Tactical Takeover with a Saturday night Setons. Here we go. Average rating 1,530 in today's match. A very small advantage to the team down south. Their total rating is 6,126. They're opposing Team 1 up there with 6,111. That means 15 points across the board favouring these guys, which works out about 4 points per player. With that then, let's start our introductions. We'll go to the very top on Team 1 and we'll start in the corner in the air slot here with Raider. He's a 1600 rated going Aeon. First land. Moving to his south on the cliff position, we've got in grey Lopter. He's going UEF today. First air at 1100. Moving towards the central slot, the highest rated player for his team today is Seraphim-Noob. He's an 1800 Seraphim going first land. Is he a noob? I don't know, but he's certainly Seraphim. And last but not least for the team today in gold is SiilentBug. Silent with the double I, it's a silent I. He's going first land as Aeon 1700 if I didn't already say it. Switching over to the other side then, let's continue with the theme of starting with the air players. In orange, we've got HighLander-TX. He's a 1500, our first UEF of the day, going first air. Just to mix things up, we'll go anti-clockwise. In burgundy red, we've got ourselves Winter. He's a 1500, also a Seraphim, also going first, and he's making his way towards the mid from the beach position there. As is the meta these days. In the central position, this was always my favourite slot, the lower side on the Setons map, is NotJacci. He's Seraphim 1800, the highest rated player on his team today, going first and also Seraphim. So the two highest rated players both facing each other off, both Seraphim, both in the mids. And last but not least for his team, and indeed the game, we've got ourselves Suspect. He's a 1400, also Seraphim, going first air as khaki green. So many Seraphims in today's game, in fact 4 of them. A couple of Aeons, a couple of UEFs, and no Cybran for a change. It's somewhat unusual not to have a Cybran anywhere on the Setons game. Cybrans, or rather should I say, everybody chose their faction, so nobody wanted to go Cybran. Although judging by the comments, it's possible that they went random slots, and the only reason I say that is just because what the chat is. Some SiilentBug concerned that his team will lose the air. Seraphim-Noob is a little more optimistic, saying HighLander's not very good at air. And then SiilentBug says he's going to do Tech 2 bombers and a T2 drop before 10 minutes. So we'll see if that's true, because we're just rolling past 3 minute 15. And we've got our first scout the other side of the map, and our 2 forward players are in the middle, getting their reclaiming. There's the first shots. But I don't think the players caring too much about that. You can see both of them have got a lot of pre-queued orders for the reclaim. And I suspect unless they become threatened with multiple units, I need to start thinking about their health. They may keep that. That right there is a nice bomb from Seraphim-Noob. Always cheeky when your opponent on front goes for fast air. He manages to get 2. Oh, that is a lot of engineers. Another 4. 6 down already. That's terrible at 4 minutes. This is going to force Jackie into producing Tech 1 mobile anti-air. That he does. And that is an upgrading Tech 1 mass extractor. He won't want to lose that. It's 2/3 of the way done. The bomber is coming back round with 7 kills. And it may get one off here. And it does. Just as it gets shot down and takes out the mix. That was about 70%. That is unfortunate. In comes another bomber. I'm not sure if that was a hover bomb or not. Wasn't as successful as last time, even if it did get an engineer, but that is going to set NotJacci back. NotJacci, who hopefully was benefiting from some pre-queued orders there with the ACU because it had been busy elsewhere. He's actually managed to get a cheeky engineer up front. Look at this guy, 712 mass so far. Bomber there from Seraphim-Noob. I think that must be bomber number 3. Going after the commander, that must be an idle click. I'm sure he'd much rather go after the engineer, but we'll have to see where the land lie. Also of note, look at this. SiilentBug has managed to capture the side island there off Suspect. Suspect cliff position. Rightfully, this is his island, just as the island over here should belong to Lopter. But SiilentBug has upset that. In fact, if we take a look at SiilentBug's base, there's almost nothing there. He must have gone all out, including the kitchen sink, to pinch that island off Suspect. And looks like he was able to pinch it. I think Suspect, if I remember, on the mini-map, did have a presence there, but it obviously weren't enough. Once again, more bombers getting thread through. Once again, it's another upgrading mass point. It's 50% on the way to Tech 2. Being Aeon, it will not auto-update. Here's the second bomber. It only takes 2. And that is another blow there to NotJacci, who's had quite a terrible opening, I think it's fair to say, as Seraphim-Noob really making him pay with those Tech 1 bombers. Jacci not yet with a single kill. Does have a few units now up front, including quite a lot of anti-air. And there's eager to get the last few pieces of mass. Lord knows he needs them after what has been done to his main base. So as we get towards 7 minutes then, there's not too long that remains until Highlanders, or rather the prediction that SiilentBug made about Highlander and his Tech 2 fighter bombers. And in fact, he's right. He said there would be a drop as well. There is the transport. I'm just looking on the mini-map here, in fact, are these 2 Tech 2 fighter bombers that we were told about. They're making their way over now, preceded by a scout. And so scouts, actually nothing been seen yet. This is unusual for a Setons game these days. As you can see, there hasn't been any intel over here at all. There was a little bit of something once over Lopter's base. That is all. Usually you would expect to scout a little sooner. I imagine Suspect's been tied up with this side island issue. We'll take another look at that in a minute. But what I will say is if I was Suspect, I'd be thinking about a TML launcher, trying to deal with some of these factories. Just curious what Raider can see. Is he even aware? Well, yes, he is. Janus one-shot pass on these mechs. And of course, as we've seen, that includes the upgrading ones. So this is going to hurt. Raider, who's not yet gotten the Tech 2 power, and looks like Highlander's determined to keep it that way, puts a double pass over the half-constructed. See how his... well, right now Raider's got plenty of energy.
Under attack.
Oh, that really hurt. I don't know how many Pigeon just went down, but it was a whole bunch of them. In fact, Highlander's now going for the hydrocarbon, and we can see now he's not stalling, but no longer is he on the top. This Janus here gets one more lot of bombs out and a whole bunch of build capacity, heavily damaging a whole load more P-gens. There finally goes the hydro, but I think at last both of them have been shot down. Very successful early raid. We've got 2 more Janus making their way to the north. And this has got to be concerning for Suspect, these naval yards here. One of them has been taken out. Suspect is going for sub. We'll be able to deal with the frigates that way. And here's this Tech 2 drop that SiilentBug perhaps has got a crystal ball. Either that or Highlander's somewhat predictable in his opening. What have we got on here? We see that Lopter there paying attention. Nothing but Lobos, no surprise there. Here the 2 further Janus taken out. Tech 1 mechs. Oh, he's going to be quick though. He's got several interceptors right up his behind there, and he does manage to drop them off. HighLander very quick to get the orders away. And looks like these Janus here was sort of a secondary thought. Both of them have, well, dropped multiple rounds off on that single mass point. These are just Tech 1 mechs, it would seem. Highlander doing the right thing, splitting these guys up. We'll have to take in a look elsewhere what's going on. And here there is action in the middle. Again, just Tech 1 mechs. Raider doing the right thing, sending out T1 bombers. That one there getting closed, reclaimed by lots. I'm going to have to focus in on the mid, see what's going on there. Seraphim-Noob with the gun. Winter is still bare. There's a whole bunch of T1 there from NotJacci. Jackie, who is at the Tech 2 but no gun, does now have a destroyer on his case. So I wonder now if that's going to force Team 2 back somewhat. Taking a look up here, and yeah, it looks like, yeah, the last of the artillery pieces was able to pick off another mechs there, but I suspect that's it. Raider now using Raiders or Labs to deal with the last of those artillery pieces. So yeah, Highlander, very aggressive opening. Actually trying again. And yeah, as we were suspecting here, Team 2 are going to be forced into a retreat. In no small part thanks to the destroyer here. We've also got mobile missile launchers there from Seraphim-Noob, 2 or 3. Of course, where there's 2 or 3, there's going to be 4 or 5 before you know it. And Team 2 forced all the way back. What is this? Sorry for missing this, guys. Suspect. I heard there was something shooting somewhere. Suspect as a Tech 2 commander has dropped himself off on the side island. Successfully so. I'm not sure how close he was to being shot down. But of course, have required a Tech 2 transport, so there's a bit of health. Suppose when he's got an APM or 2 left, he may want to move his commander to the very end. Make sure that he gets these naval yards shut down. Must be focusing elsewhere. Solitary gunship dealing with the Aeon frigates, and this is of course the weakness of the Aeon frigate. No anti-air capability at all. To of course have a dedicated Tech 1AA gunboat, but that's that. Here we see this drop from Highlander, so it's all hands on deck. Looks like there's a very quick response there from SiilentBug. This here is a Tech 2 mechs. I'm not sure there's going to be enough. We've got another drop over here from Winter versus the 1100. We'll take a look at that in a minute. My only question is, were there enough rounds on there to shut down? And yes, it was. So Highlander did manage to pick off a Tech 2 mechs. This one over here, 2 kills to his name, but doesn't appear that there's going to be much else done. And now a counter-attack. We're going to have to look at this. This is unusual play for Setons these days. Usually both forward players happy to take the mask, go back, and then draw a line. Crazy overcharge there. But Seraphim-Noob says no. You guys draw the line. I'm going to take my army in and push. Jackie forced back into producing a new forward line. I'm just not sure he's going to be able to get it up quick enough. It's got 3-point defense, but look at all these mobile missile launchers, and they know exactly what they're going for. The defense first. Tap missile defense, and then the Tech 2-point defense. Yeah, this is unfortunate here. Lots are having a real hard time of it. There is support there from his team, but we're going to have to focus in on the mid. Seraphim-Noob just with the gun, nothing too crazy. Much needed shield from Jackie. And a little counter-attack here. And it looks like Seraphim-Noob, after all is said and done, is deciding to bail. I mean, there's a lot of mass there. Well, I guess, okay, you're down to 4,000 hit points. Not worth risking it. He is sending engineers forward on attack move. There is, well, let's have a look. 3 almost 4,000 mass there. There's another 1,500 further back, so yeah. 5,000 mass, certainly worth sticking around for if you can. Got our first Tech 2 naval unit coming across the way as well. And this is from Seraphim-Noob, the forward player, not from SiilentBug, who, well, Navy-wise is... doesn't have anything yet. He's just got his production facilities started, so ambitious initial Tech 2. Nothing but a couple of frigates and a couple of subs to stop it. I suspect the sub will make light work of that. Lopter somehow has gotten a reasonable Tech 2 Navy across. With some pick and mix, we've got 6 frigates, 2 destroyers, a cruiser, 3 subs. That is a nice mix. Especially being UEF, of course, you've got the jammer capability of the frigates, although nice move there from Winter, submerging the destroyers, turning them into Tech 2 subs, rendering the cruiser and the frigates more or less useless. But look at this. The forward base there from Team 2. Jacci and Winters hung around to try and assist. Is getting completely surrounded. Navy both sides. Seraphim-Noob pressing on the front. Jacci the first to make use of the engineers on attack move, getting some of that reclaim in. And look at this, another drop. Once again from Winter onto the side island there of Lopter. You can see he had Tech 2 and capped off the island. Once again, Raider lending support. Also got a strategic bomber here from Highlander. Gonna keep my eyes on this. No kills so far. Highlander now flying himself towards the mid. Jacci pushing out on a counter-attack. By goodness, it really is all going off. Let's see, what have we here? Bit of overkill there. Just as Lopter finishes the Tech 1 mechs, Highlander says, "Oh, no, you don't." And it's now just loitering in the area. I don't think this strategic bomber's been given any real orders. Lopter's going to get on its tail. Does get a few shots in. There is an escort there. Does pick off 1 Tech 2 mechs. Raider continues pursuing and shoots down the ambassador. I've seen better. Let's be fair, we've seen worse. Lopter, meanwhile, holding his own so far in the mid versus Winter, despite losing his side island as well as much of his main base. Lovely pickup there from the UEF cruiser. And look at this. Seraphim-Noob with this Tech 2 Navy really causing a headache, not just for the forward player Jacci, but also the suspect on the side there, losing Tech 2 mechs. Yeah. Terrible things, those Seraphim cruisers. This is a very, very clutch fight in the mid. Although maybe not so much now. Bit of micro there from Winter, gets his heavily damaged destroyer further back. A few... No. Alright, so as we come towards minute 19, let's have a quick look at the ecos. 50 mass per tick advantage to Team 1 to the north. Perhaps unsurprising, since Winter knocked this side island out. I suspect it was more or less even until then. Highlander now sending torpedo bombers across to deal with the cruiser. He picks it off. 59 kills that cruiser had. Suspect's going to be glad about that. It's completely torn apart his opening position. There is another destroyer here with 16 kills. Highlanders refocusing in on that. Surely going to be next. Meanwhile, Highlander over here once again with an ambassador. Does get one bomb off towards a Tech 3 mechs, unfortunately for him. Only the storage is getting picked off. However, Highlander still chucking so many torpedo bombers out. I mean, let's be fair. Seraphim-Noob working together with SiilentBug had completely overwhelmed Suspect. There was no two ways about it. And Highlander suddenly, out of nowhere, turns up on the scene with what must have been about 20 torpedo bombers. Are starting to go down now thanks to this cruiser. Highlander retargets the cruiser. Surely that's going to be enough there. And Raider finally turns onto the scene with his own ASF. And with it, I think Highlander's escapades here will have come to an end. But I wonder if that's bought Suspect enough time to get stuck back in. I mean, there's still more torpedo bombers. And I think Raider took his eye off the ball just for a second. There's yet more destroyers going down, and there's not much they can do about it when you've got torpedo planes over above. Though the air fight, I'm not sure if it was even at one point or not, but I think the torpedo bombers that Highlander's been producing have given Raider the edge on ASF. Don't forget the 2 strap bombers as well from Highlander that were underwhelming to say the least. Although he did have his early T2 bomber rush, and I'd love to know how much that set Raider back. Probably only 30 seconds or so, but probably sent... Oh! Seraphim-Noob taken out by Winter and his navy. I suspect NotJacci had a lot to do with it as well. And the forward player for Team 1 is down. The base goes over to SiilentBug. And with it, we've got our first ejection inside 22 minutes. Looks like the islands over here by Suspect is going to change hands a second time. Jackie was ready to quit, says Winter. Well, whether he was or he wasn't, I'm sure he's feeling on top of the world now. He's got his upgrades, and he's just steamrolling straight into what was Seraphim-Noob's base. Both commanders here from Team 2. It's a little late in the day to be wandering up unescorted, especially when you know that your opponent's got air superiority, although perhaps they haven't fought that far yet. Too busy doing what they were doing to realise Highlander had invested a lot in torpedo bombers. Saved Suspect, but in the process lost air. Is sending ASF into the mid. Although one silver lining here, Winter is in the area with a cruiser. Seraphim, they're pretty good. Not the best SAMs, but do have a real good flak weapon aboard. And is sending in 3 more. Look at the base there from Locter, almost entirely missing. Meanwhile, Suspect's base has re-established, and Suspect is hanging on that side island. Thinking about, okay, we'll just go for some Tech 1 then. SiilentBug still loitering with his destroyers. Suspect, at least for now, choosing to ignore them and instead go for something more down the middle. Highlander with the shield gun and Tech 2. Jackie, Tech 2, gun and nano. And there is the new front line. Although Winter with his cruisers. SiilentBug better have got his TAC missile defense, and yes, he has. TAC missile defense for days. And so suddenly inheriting this base might not be all it's cracked up to be when you're having to put all of what you're getting in back into defensive structures just so you can hold on to it. SiilentBug's navy slowly getting bigger. Finally, Suspect does make a move to deal with these two destroyers, but not before they've really caused problems. Suspect does have one factory on the island, so he will be able to re-establish at some point. We'll have a quick look on team views then, just so we can see. So Team 1, Team North, down to this area of the map. Team 2, looking a little more comfortable, especially with winter dominating the entire southern pond as well as the South Island. We have a attempt here from Raider to deal with the destroyers using the Aeon gunship, the Spectre, and is somewhat successful in that, although there's not too much left for the Seraphim destroyers to do. I guess you could bring them home and recycle them. But it does appear that slowly but surely Team 2 are chipping away at the very forward structures, the defensive units here. Although I do like the response there from SiilentBug versus the mobile missile launcher. Build mobile missile launchers of your own. Actually doing a really good job there. Both the... Oh, that's nasty. Look at this. A whole bunch of gunships there just went right over the cruisers. Nice pickup, though, from Raider. Look at him. He's completely wiped off that side island we saw Winter set up there. It was fully established. And now those gunships have completely got rid of it. Do, interestingly enough, leave one engineer behind. And then fly away only to double back right over the top of Seraphim Cruiser, which is never where you want to be. Highlander once again chucking torpedo bombers forward, trying to keep his side in the sea. Highlander's got a navy yard as well. Jacci with several more. Suspect producing navy in some quantity now. He was really set back earlier on, I feel, Suspect. And being Seraphim versus someone like Aeon, you have got to keep your ships moving back and forth. That's the advantage the beam weapons have, but if you don't jiggle, suddenly the high alpha strike weapons have. And it looks like for about the millionth time the North Island is going to change hands, although interestingly enough Raider chooses not to go for the side islands, although it does with the couple. Instead is going for the build capacity here belonging to Suspect on his naval yards. And there they go. Nicely done. Just as it seemed there may have been a chance that Team 2 were going to hold on a little longer in the North Pond. Plus already having the South Pond. This time it's torpedo bombers from Team 1 going against some of the units that Jacci managed to get online. Nicely placed cruiser there, getting a few kills for free. 30 as the enemy air loiters over the top, apparently not aware of its existence just yet. Was then picked off. Oh, look at this. Highlander forced into an air battle that he can't win. He's building SAM sites on the floor underneath the air battle, which is, well, that's all that you can do. But Suspect once again, his starting position is going down, although Sam here, well, HighLander sending a few units that he has in. It's actually rebuilding them pretty quickly. Raider, I don't know, it must have been enough SAMs and flak to make him decide to back off, but unfortunately here for Suspect, his Tech 3 mechs at risk of going down. Taking a look at Eco's Team 2, apparently way ahead. I guess that's because Lopta has been more or less taken out of the game economy-wise. Although Suspect not faring too much better. But nevertheless, the live income values vastly favouring Team 2 right now. And taking a look at the total kills, a minor advantage for Team 1, 280 versus 250,000, so that's about 10% more kills from the other side. But Supreme Scoreboard firmly putting the advantage into Team 2's side of things right now. They're going to be first to reach 1 million. Suspect Team 1 be about 900,000. Somehow, Suspect was able to get a few yards online, but Raider's very quick to spot them, denying it. Seraphim-Noob offering advice from beyond the grave. Upgrade Omni says, and there is the upgrade. It's interesting positioning there from HighLander. I mean, he's beyond the halfway mark. His team does not have air. Well, he is the air player, he should know. I guess he'd just forgotten about it. And once again, HighLander getting involved in an air fight that he can't win. Raider well aware of it. Happy to push. Has gotten another SAM site a little further forward. But yeah, still devastating loss for Team 2. You can see how quickly though HighLander's air is rebuilding. He's just not gotten enough numbers together in the same place at the same time to make it worthwhile. And I'm hearing a chicken, and here it is. SiilentBug. Here, the hover tanks. That's actually quite a few hover tanks, and several of them are going to get picked up there. More than some. 18, and there's going to be even more now. 26. That is quite a lot of T2 units. But would have actually... I'm not so sure actually with the... Okay, I'll take that back. The gunships, Raider had it. Raider had it with his gunships, but otherwise those T2 hover tanks I'm sure would have gone after some of this build capacity. Meanwhile, Winter's taken the opportunity to switch up to Tech 3. He's got battleships as well as a carrier there, pummeling the middle base of SiilentBug that was Seraphim-Noob. There is now a second chicken. The first one going underwater. Take a little look at the orders, and there we see going to the side there. Well, that ain't going to be very nice, is it? I already know that Suspect has not had the greatest game ever. We've all been in that position, haven't we? We just got picked on a little bit, and every time we tried to rebuild, somebody was there to put a stop to it. And just as you thought you were keeping the TAP missiles out, somebody goes and sneaks a chicken in. Yeah. Where's the music today? Somebody asks. Oh. I went to delete a song from the playlist. There was one song I didn't like, and I tried to take it out, which I did, and then I heard another one I didn't like, and I don't know what happened. I accidentally deleted the entire playlist, and then there wasn't an undo button in Spotify. So, playlist disappeared, and I thought, oh, I just want to get on with the cast. I could spend half an hour trying to sort all that shit out again, but no, let's get on with the cast. I'll try to get it sorted for next time. Some people probably prefer it without. Certainly had 1 or 2 comments in the history of the channel. Is he going to go straight in? I mean, there's so much reclaim here from SiilentBug as well. I like what Lopter's done. He's taken himself transport over to the side island. Seeing as he's got not much else. Winter's already got Tech 3 on his captured side islands. SiilentBug moving in with a drop of his own, which is, okay, understandable. But Lopter doesn't really have much. We've got a drop, meanwhile, from Highlander on the other side. And Winter starting to set up a base. Surely Team 1 are aware. Well, yes, they are. Land invasion, that's exactly what it is. I suspect Seraphim-Noob put that marker down. And so at 36 minutes, it's got that somewhat stalemate-ish feeling. Team 1 in control of the northern pond, Team 2 in the southern pond. Jacci perhaps upsetting that balance slightly as he pushes through the mid, but of course, perhaps unknown to Team 2, the chicken about to make landfall. In fact, its orders are already pre-programmed. SiilentBug's already got a whole string of chickens on order here. So what, halfway through the mid? Surely there's a bit more than flak and a couple of hover tanks in this mix. Well, I guess if there's not much to stop it, why not? There are some siege tanks further back, but this is what I'm interested in. There's actually 2 chickens here now. Both of them from SiilentBug. That other one must have built really quickly, and it does appear that there is some awareness there. A few point defense have gone down, but nowhere near enough. Suspect is on the run. He realizes the gig's up. And I'm just wondering, is there anything that Team 2 can do about this? It's 38 minutes in. We've also got another chicken on the other side from Winter. We're going to have to split screen real quick and keep an eye on both of these. Lopter's bailed out of position. He's seen it coming. He did manage to get a few Ravagers online, but I suspect it's not enough. Winter weaving and dodging. Manages to take out all the defensive structures without much bother. Highlander, meanwhile, is chucking Tech 1 bombers at the leading chicken. Still pretty much full health. Gets a rank of vet there. Second chicken behind is at full health. Suspect still on the run. Is a Tech 3 com, but it's not going to be enough. Chicken there from SiilentBug. Does he even know? No, he doesn't. SiilentBug does not know that Suspect is right there. If Suspect went to the side, of course he would live, but Highlander, meanwhile, showing up over the chicken to provide some air cover. Winter does have a few flaks in tow, but I still think that air fight, for the millionth time, is going to go Team one way. Suspect there was identified and has been picked up by SiilentBug. It's unclear if that was a deliberate act or just the only target in range. Meanwhile, the chicken here continuing north as the other chickens continuing south, and they're getting right into the danger area of the air player on both sides. It's not often that we get a game like this, is it? It's been a while. Do give it a like if you like. If you don't like it, well, don't. Oh, Lopter there is in danger of getting picked up. He took a few rounds, that's for sure. Lots of Tech 1 bombers. There's a nuke out from somewhere. There we see it on the mini-maps coming from SiilentBug's base, but look at Highlander's base. Both air players' bases getting wiped out in sync with one another. That is, well, if it ever happened, it was 5 years ago, once upon a time. Highlander's secondary air grid here. Almost got a fat boy online. SiilentBug says, no, you don't. There is a chicken, meanwhile, here from Winter trying to deal with that leading chicken. 137,000. There we see the nuke impacting the forward position there of Jackie's base. And the 5-star chicken from SiilentBug survives. There's the fat boy. That's been taken out. There's the chicken there. Well, that's going to go down, having completely annihilated Team 1 air player's main base. Of course, Raider does have his secondary base here, but taking a look on the other side of things, both chickens still alive. The secondary air grid there from Highlander, that's gone up. Both chickens are 5-star. 144, 113. They've got 250,000 mass between them, just two chickens. Highlander, meanwhile, further south, he's got a Tech 3 transport there, the Continental with its shield. It's like Raider, I assume, was pinged or alerted to that Continental. Raider's going to pick that off. The two chickens here still from SiilentBug are still making their way forward. Few siege tanks here from NotJacci. Is it enough? Chicken's got nowhere else to go, but its regen is 145 per second. Meanwhile, further south, that was in the nick of time. Winter managing to get a chicken of his own on before the main of his base went up. Meanwhile, Jackie, who's having to rebuild after that nuke impacted, gets a shield on. He's got some point defense. He's got some Tech 2 hover tanks. The chicken with just 1,000 hit points left. Surely it's going to go. And finally it does. What a crazy set of sequences there. Look at the lightning response there from NotJacci. Trying to plug the gap. Yet another chicken moving in, though, from SiilentBug, already with 50 kills to its name. A very impressive quick response there from Jackie. It does appear that the few point defenses he did manage to get on are going to stop the flak, but the chicken has broke through regardless. This one only 1-star, but still 50,000 hit points and all the kill power that there is. Meanwhile, look at this on the other side. Winter with 2 chickens of his own. A lot of mobile anti-air cannons escorting the chicken, of course, well aware that his team does not have air. Still has not been able to establish in the rear. And so at 44 minutes, guys, who do you fancy? Scores say about a 20% advantage for Team 2. We'll check on the guys up north in a minute. We've got this chicken here. In fact, we are going to have to split the screen. There is a chicken there waiting. In fact, it is a full health chicken, but regardless, further north, we've got the two chickens from Winter. The first one runs into a GC, a full health GC from SiilentBug. Surely that's going to save the first chicken. So much flak. There it goes, but the second chicken now full health. That's probably got the GC. Meanwhile, SiilentBug trying to get round the back of Winter here. Can he get inside? No, he can't. The shield holds with it. The strategic missile defense holds as well. There goes the GC, meanwhile, on Team 1's side of the base. And the second chicken survives with half health. And that right there is Raider's secondary air grid. We saw the grid go down a little while from Highlander, both of them. Raider managed to hold on to the secondary one, but now it's gone. Another GC from SiilentBug is moving to intercept that chicken. Got a few point defense online there from Raider. Surely this here is going to be a safe. There is a strategic missile defense there. That'd be a choice target, assuming he can. Oh, that was a lucky shot there. And down goes that chicken. Crazy. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, Highlanders getting underway with rebuilding. He's building on top of the wreckages to try to save mass where he can, just as well, because basically all his mass points are gone. Another chicken, meanwhile, here from Winter. Winter, who's playing an absolute blinder. Highlander, who's not really been the best at anything, but he's been there in everything, lending hands left, right and centre. And Jacci, who, despite almost continuous pressure from the Northern Navy, has managed to hold, despite eating a nuke to his central base, has managed to hold. He was very quick in establishing some sort of a line on Team 2's northernmost position there, the rock. And here we go again. Winter with a chicken. Raider, who had rebuilt the mechs at least.
Strategic launch.
Bit of name calling in chat. Oh, support commander going up, and out is a nuke. Saw one of the nukes out earlier on. 99 kills. 90, what was that? 88,000 mass. Chicken. And SiilentBug once again saving the day there. Let's see, where's this nuke going? Once again into the front base of Jacci. Jacci, meanwhile, pushing up with Winter with two chickens side by side through the mid. Chickens getting a whole bunch of frigates there, basically for free. There's a cruiser giving a bit of damage. Locked up. Says to Raider, fine, if you don't want your base, I'll have it. Raider, who has turned into a land player as he attempts to stem the tide that is Winter. The There's another chicken from SiilentBug. Attempts to break through the side. Is there enough is the question. Keep it moving. Keep it moving, Bug. Come on, there is the order. I mean, look at all these shields. We've got point defense galore going up here from Jacci. All of these factories are T3. I suspect he can't afford to run them all, but... Chicken. Having a bit of a job here trying to crack all these shields. Does manage to get some of them done, then turns tail. Actually losing 2/3 of its health, now 3/4, and there's so many point defense there on the chicken. SiilentBug decides to bail, rightfully so. I think if he'd have had another chicken, it maybe would have worked, but again, hindsight 2020, right? Meanwhile, it's looking far more concerning for Team 1. We've got numerous experimentals. Silent has got 2 GCs, as best as I can tell, in defense. It's got a few point defense. We've got a nuke out from Team 2, I beg your pardon. Firing off on the, well, interesting choice of target. Perhaps he was expecting a commander to be there. I can only assume that was the decision. One of the defending GCs goes down, 1 remains. We've still got 5 chickens. Beg your pardon, make that 4. 4 chickens versus 1 GC. GC may get the most heavily damaged chicken. No, not even that. Raider chucking out Tech 1 bombers. So much flak here though. Got another chicken down here as Winter splits up his attack. Jacci pressing through the middle. But at 51 minutes, I think we can finally see where this one's going. SiilentBug manages to get on a GC there in the nick of time. Surely it's going to get the most heavily damaged chicken. Yes, it does. But there's still 2 more coming in. You've got the Ion Storm from the one that's dead to contend with. A 3rd chicken up here from Jacci. So much flak that Raiders just chucking bombers into flak. They're not getting anything done. We've got a strategic missile defense here that's been heavily assisted for reasons what is past my comprehension. Especially when there's a chicken bearing down all that build capacity together with the defense. There it goes. And I think with it, SiilentBug's main base, who, I mean, just what, 5-10 minutes ago he had those 2 chickens wheeling through Highlander's backyard. I mean, come on. What a comeback that was. Although we can't forget, Winter was doing similar things up here in the back of Raiders base. SiilentBug going down. Raider there capitulating at 52.5 minutes. GG's going out all round. So the question remains, does Lopter feel like hanging on or not? Suspect there's not a great deal that he can do. Winter tells Jacci to have more faith. Jacci was ready to lob in the towel, don't forget. Thinking that it was all over. Going into, well, a few Tech 1 factories there. I think there was a T3 air as well. Lopter sitting pretty in the back of what was the air slot. We'll take a look what he can see at this stage of the game. Well, he's still got intel on what's going on, but not much else. He does have ASF, and actually, with it, still has air supremacy. They just weren't able to do much with it, it seems, with all the mobile anti-air that Team 1 was shoving along. I hate to tell you, Lopter, but I think the end is drawing near, although credit to him for not throwing in the towel. Lopter, what was it, the god of deception or whatever it is, didn't get to be a god by giving up. Somehow managed to find a GC from somewhere. It's decided to take on the chickens. It's got about 1 million flares to take on the chickens as well, but chicken probably the best unit at dealing with T1 spam at the experimental stage. I'd say probably. Of course, it's all relative. At range, certainly the fatty. But it matters not. Here they come. Oh! We've got a nuke to do it. And there we go. The nuke in slow motion. And with it, Lopter and his grey UEF soul can gate back to another dimension to meet us on another battlefield on another day. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if there are any, I hope you enjoyed the show. And until next time, wherever in the world you may be, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Take care. Bye-bye. Patrons, if you haven't already, do check out. There is a 6v6 epic, or is it a 5v5? Either way, on the channel. It's got a couple of tips as well there for you. Thanks as always for supporting what I do here. And thank you to everybody who leaves a comment. Let's go through the names real quick. Lander, SC Fan, Lint, Moist Mike, WB Running, C-Cap Rusty, Chocolate Deluxe, Core Human, Aquarium Engineer who helped us out with the Rumsfeld quote, Ian, Organ, Tom Sony, James Chancellor, and Michael Kalashnikov, together with Merton Dingle. All of those people left a comment in the last 7 days, so thank you very much. See ya.